Hi, I'm Molly.
And I'm Jamie, and this is our From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast. As the owners of Hired Hand website software, we've been developing websites and creating internet marketing strategies for livestock breeders for the past 10 years.
The majority of our customers are involved in the breeding of registered animals, such as Texas Longhorns, Highland cattle, horses, and white-tailed deer, where the pedigrees are very important. The From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast examines many of the differences in raising pedigreed livestock for maximum profit. Join us and learn what we're covering today.
Okay, so today we're talking with two breeders that we've talked with a few times before. They do host a lot of sales within the Longhorn industry. So this is more of a little recap than a test like we normally do. So these two met in the spring of 2013. One of them bought a cow for $2,000 and then traded that cow back to the other one, who in turn sold her for over $20,000. But that's kind of what friends are for, in their opinion. And both of their families have been involved in cattle for generations.
Their grandfathers have arguably been the main influence in their lives, and they both really enjoy hunting. Let's bring them in.
Let's do it. All right, so thanks for joining us today, guys.
Happy to be here.
Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about the date and location for this year's sale?
All righty. So the Midwest sale, it's coming back this year. It's going to be the 11th and 12th. So this coming weekend up in Winfield, Kansas. Same sale barn that's been at the Midwest barn. Friday, most cattle are coming in, and Debbie is hosting a kind of a dinner and a party. It's going to be catered at the sale barn Friday afternoon. And then Saturday at 11 o'clock, we've got a 61 lot cow sale that we're going to kick off with.
All right. Is there anything else on the schedule that you want to point out to folks?
I mean, I would definitely suggest that everybody be at the party. Cattle can come in. We're going to have a few in on Thursday. The majority of cattle are going to be arriving Friday, but I'd highly suggest coming and hanging out with everybody at the barn. Debbie's speaking really highly of the caterer that we've got scheduled. So it's going to be a good time.
Well, we typically too, I mean, as you guys know, a lot of these sales, Thursday is a good time as well. So anybody that can come in Thursday or wants to get in Thursday, it's generally not as formal, I guess is a word for it. Everybody's still kind of relaxed, not as hectic. It's a little bit easier time to visit with folks and good people together and go out. And it generally happens too Saturday after the sale as well. So.
And who's the host again for the Midwest sale? I know it's changed since the last sale.
Yes. So it's the Longhorn Legacy Group, which consists of Bear Davidson, Ann Gravett, Lane Craft, Mike Casey, and Debbie Bowman. So they're hosting it this year. A lot of excitement with the Midwest. Was it 2 years ago? They decided not to have it last year. Obviously, with COVID, it didn't happen. So this is the first time in 2 years that it's coming back. So did some revamping to the sale and got some really great cattle in.
We moved the date too. It was, Mike and Debbie's sale was always generally in third week in April, fourth week in April. As you guys know, you guys have been there where sometimes in Kansas, it could be raining and freezing cold and snow and all that stuff. So we moved it to June. I know that kind of interferes with haying season for some people too, but hopefully the weather is a little bit better and what people are looking for.
So will you have haulers available going back to Texas, Oklahoma, and everywhere?
Yes. Yeah, pretty much everywhere. I know Wes Clark will be up there. I'll have a trailer. We've got consigners coming from Colorado. Bear's got a trailer, I think, coming out from the East Coast. So there will be haulers available. So if you get something, as always, don't worry. We'll figure out a way to get it to you.
So you guys mentioned Debbie when you listed off the group of partners who host the sale. Tell us a little bit about why she wanted to get involved and kind of the history behind her and Mike hosting the sale in the past.
Yeah, I mean, this sale, Bear will probably know a lot more about the history since he's ancient, but it was always a staple. It was a great sale. Mike did an awesome job getting cattle in. promoting. I think he was one of the best promoters that the breed's really ever seen. So when the way that sale didn't happen, Debbie thought it was really important for the Midwest breeders to have something, and I guess just kind of wanted to carry on that legacy, but with her own little twist. Kind of like we've seen ladies like Lorinda and Ann and a few others do. They're kind of doing stuff their own way, but also carrying on the legacy of their late husbands. So that's kind of her. She just thought it was a really rich sale, history wise, and wanted to keep it going. And a lot of people felt the same.
It's so important too to have those little, I mean, I'm not gonna call it little, but just the regional sale markets. You see sales like the Wisconsin sale, the Cherry Blossom, the Midwest, the Oregon sale from the Phase to Picker, Melissa Boris with the Reno sale, and just trying to create these little local established markets, because we're fortunate, right? You guys, Chase and myself here, to be able to do this full time, right? Like, this is what we do. So to jump on a plane or a truck and drive a day to go to an event, when I say a day, I'm talking 24 hours to go to an event, is not unheard of. And we got them every weekend, right? I mean, we were in Fort Worth 2 weeks ago. We're in Kansas this week. Chase goes to, and you guys go to Oregon. There's something going on in Michigan next weekend. So, trying to create these little local markets, give a lot of breeders an opportunity to promote their cows in ways that they normally wouldn't. Again, we're fortunate that we're able to sell cows privately, because again, this is what we do. And, we went to school for it. We were trained on it. But for a lot of people that might get in the cattle business, I mean, their only way to market cows is to put them in a consignment sale. So, not having one in Kansas, kind of put it to the point where it's like, hey, your only option is to jump in a truck and go to Oklahoma, or southern Oklahoma to Texoma, or to Texas. And for some guys, it's just not feasible. They can't miss that much work. It costs them too much money that the dollars and cents don't pencil out. So prior to the Midwest sale coming back, I mean, the Colorado sale got canceled, which we're trying to get something in the works for that. I think that would be a cool thing to bring that one back. But the only sales in the western half of the United States was Reno and Oregon. And that's a huge, vast territory to only have 2 events. And I know a lot of people travel to the same ones, and they do it because they enjoy it. But for some guys, Oregon's the only sale they can get to. The Reno sale's the only one they can get to. The Colorado sale's the only one they can get to. The Kansas sale's the only one they can get to. So, we want to do our part in trying to provide a market for those people, because they're just as important as everybody else.
So do you all have a favorite memory from a past Midwest sale?
Oof. My favorite, gosh, and this had to have been 6 or 7 years ago. I went up and I had my granddad and Ty Waring with me. 2 men, both had prostate cancer, so they could not get synced up. I think that 9-hour trip took us 13 hours we had to stop so they could go to the bathroom.
Ty rode with you?
Do what?
You said Ty rode with you?
Yeah, Ty Waring and my granddad. And Ty said, I don't need to smoke. I don't need to do. By the time we would stop, he would have the door open, lighting a cigarette to stand there. And I swear I could have made it to Virginia quicker than Kansas that year. But we went up. I think Ty sold a few cows. We wound up buying one. But yeah, that was fun with those 2 old guys in the truck. It's kind of like that movie Grumpier Old Men. They were complaining about something or talking about this, but that was probably one of my favorite trips up there to Kansas.
What about you, Gary?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, so that's not a sale that we used to spend a lot of time in when I started working for G&G. I got memories when I was younger. We drove up there and Eddie Wood was selling a sale, and at that point the sale was in the summertime. I want to say like July, and I mean, Kansas in July could be a scorcher. And Eddie Wood passed out in a block, and just, it was so hot, and that old man wouldn't leave the block. Like he was determined to die up there. So, when he would do his big Eddie Wood sales in Fort Worth, he'd sell 900 head of cows and never leave, sit there the whole time. So, he ended up passing out in the block. I know that was one of the last few sales I went to with my father. Flying to Oklahoma City, and he'd pick me up, and then we drive up to Winfield, and not necessarily the sale, but just kind of the stories with this sale. I mean, him and I shared a hotel room, one of the few times in my adult life where I actually had my own expendable income where I could buy my own hotel room. We shared a hotel room, and he went back to bed, and all of us were kind of down at the bar, just hanging out socially like everybody does, and come back up to the room. He's been asleep for a couple hours. The TV's on. I turn the TV off, and he jumps up from his sleep and says, "Hey, I was watching that." And like, "No, you aren't. You were sound asleep." Coming back from that sale, we'd stop in Stillwater, where Chase will probably be moving to at some point. But we stopped in Stillwater, Eskimo Joe's, and I guess it was right. So it was April. I'm gonna say this was 2016, the year that he passed away, and graduation was coming. And nice little girl was waiting on us, and so my dad strikes up a conversation with her, and oh, you're getting ready to graduate from OSU, Oklahoma State, and she said, "Yeah, I'm graduating next week." And my dad said, "Oh, my oldest boy graduated from here. Graduated in '93," and she was like, "Oh, that's when I was born." And my dad was hitting on her, as a 76-year-old man, 78-year-old man, and as you guys know, you've been barraged by his little lines and one-timers every now and then, but he was hitting on her. He's like, "Well, when was your mom born?" And she was like, "Oh, my mom was born in 73. And he's like, "What about your grandmother?" And she's like, 53. And my dad's like, "What about your great grandmother?" Like, he just kept getting down and down. Finally, I looked at him like, "Are you done?" And the girl took it in good stride. She was laughing and playing along too, but just memories like that, not necessarily sale memories, kind of like Chase has, just the adventure of the sale. That's kind of what I think both Chase and I take a lot away from these events. It's not the cows that sell, it's the train wrecks beforehand and the train wrecks afterhand, that when it's all said and done, we sit there and talk about years down the road. Hey, remember when this happened? And some of us still got all our hair, other ones pulled their hair out. But yeah, I think we all kind of have good memories, and we're looking forward to making new ones. The legacy group gets a hold of the sale and gets to bring it back, and Debbie kind of gets to put her own flair on it, and Mike had so much to do with it in the past that, we want to honor that and honor him, but we also want to honor Debbie too. And then the new move she's making.
Do you remember the highest selling cow that was sold at the Midwest sale?
I know Utopia. I see Utopia sold for 115,000. Oh no, she sold for 60,000 there. She sold for 115 in Fort Worth. That was probably one of the biggest cows. But heck, I mean, Bowman always had knockout cows in there. Like, he worked on that sale 12 months out of the year. Like, that was his deal, and he put so much effort into that and getting people to consign. I mean, I know Scott Pace always seemed to have good cattle in that sale and always did really well. Man, I don't know.
It's that Outback Beauty.
I mean, that sale's old. No, she sold at the Legacy sale.
Yeah.
But I mean, that sale was always one of the top sales in the country, right? I mean, Legacy sale, Midwest sale, Red sale, like for 2 decades. That's always been something that people have gone to because Mike pushed so hard. Mike started the Bowman rule, right? And you start something that catches on, you get named after it. But where it was 10% commission if you didn't buy, or if you did buy as a consignor, and 20% if you didn't buy. And he was the worker of the crowds, right? As a sale host, he would kind of sit with everybody in the sale, and the next thing you know, you're buying cows because he was sitting next to you, like, not because you needed that cow. Chase mentioned about him being a promoter, like he would just get it done. He set a floor, $1,000 floor at that sale when he did it. and which was smart, right? Because you got your consignment fee of $350. You got your commission of either 10 or 20%. So, as you, the buyer, he guarantees you $1,000, but then he also previewed the cows to make sure that he wasn't going to get any $1,000 cows in there. But if he did get any caught, he'd run them through at the end as commercial cows and make $20, $50 on them. So, I mean, he was a hustler, and he worked every angle that you could possibly think of.
So for those people that get there maybe early or they're staying a little late, are there things nearby that you would suggest for them to do?
Yeah. Well, most people I think are staying after talking at a few of the hotels. There's a Super 8, Quality Inn, Best Western in Winfield and Arkansas City. I always want to say Arkansas. But there's, what is that little place? It's like out. What is it called?
There's a little pizza place called like Luigi's or something, wasn't there?
Yeah, there's also I think it's connected to the Quality Inn. The Super 8 and the Quality Inn kind of share the same parking lot, but I want to say it's like Outdoor Joe's or something. It's a really good like steakhouse and restaurant. So that's a lot of people.
Isn't that on the north part of town?
Yeah, next to the hotels. So a lot of people will, go meet up for dinner there. Obviously the cattle are going to be something to behold and hanging out at the sale barn. Like I said, with the party that we have Friday planned, and, we'll have food at the sale barn starting, I think, at 8:00. They're going to have breakfast and hamburgers throughout the day. A lot of cool stuff to do. And it's going to be real pretty up there. We've had a lot of rain down here all the way up through Oklahoma and all that. So it's going to be really green, real pretty. And I think like Jay Cohen with Commitment Ranch posted, and even in his ad, I mean, there's a few breeders that are really close to the area. So if you get in early and want to go visit them, I mean, go check it out. It's going to be really cool.
Is there any last few words you want to say about the sale?
I'm just excited to have it. We've got a few new consigners, I think, for the first time ever that are consigning and brought really good animals. Russell Freeman and Jarnigan, that partnership that they have. They bought the Spotlight Bull at the Legacy this year with Rural Safari's son. He's got a big ad, but I mean, they set up. I think all the cows that they're bringing are bred to him. And we've got Dr. Gilliland has consigned a bunch, and Nick Mills. It's just I'm excited to have it and see everybody. It's going to be really cool to be back in Kansas and have a really good sale. We've got some pretty nice animals coming up for grabs.
Thanks for having us at the sale, and we'll see you this weekend.
Yeah, we're very excited. And then, like I said, it will be on Hired Hand Live. So if you can't make it to the sale, log on there, get your bids in, and we'll see everybody, I guess, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday at 11:00 Central Time for the Midwest sale.
Sounds good. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Thank y'all. Be safe.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.